Hello, hello! Are we live? I'm in my preview 12 second. Hello! Nice to see you all. The Angry Fish, Fred Guy, Super Mario DJ, MHA, Copper Punch. We've got loads of people watching. I'm glad you guys are tuned in. I'm glad. Oh shit. My sweets. Guys, I didn't just get hydration today. I got a gift from my mum. It was pretty epic. So if you see me munching on these during the stream, I apologize for any jealousy I may or may not incur. But, today, we're doing something special. I'm just going to start by getting announcements out of the way. Basically, we had a bit of a mess up with Bendy earlier today. I'm sorry about that. We did the premiere. I wasn't able to, make actually watching it. But if you guys want to check that out, it is up on the channel. Bendy and the Machine's here. And I can't stream it. I can pre-record it, though. There's more coming. I'm thinking of doing, one episode every Tuesday. Still working it out. And other than that, well, streams haven't been usual this weekend for reasons that will become clear when I explain them. But I might compensate for it this weekend because now I'm on half term. It's holiday. This is great. But anyways, now that is today's QOTD. This is an open question, so I can only really judge it when we get to the end. But when I say what is the weirdest canon compliant theory you can think of, it has to be a theory that is so outrageous and unbelievable, but actually lines up with the evidence in a way that you can convince me, and not just me, that you are correct. Because today is, of course, a collaboration, as you probably saw from the title and the thumbnail. I'm gonna be with Lucie, so let's just call her. Let's begin the collaboration, and we're gonna get right into this. All right. What about your FNaF heads? I don't know if you even I don't know if that was in the description, but this is literally how we met. It's kind of funny. Where is she? Frick! I can't even hear it ring. It's because I'm on streamer mode probably. But yeah, literally, my girlfriend Lucie, you probably seen her before in one or two streams. Where is she? What's going on? I'm gonna leave a message. Sorry guys, one moment. I don't know where she is. I don't know where she could be. FNaF 4 equals stream. Yes, it's starting. It's kicking off. But seriously, guys, You'll know Lucie from previous collabs, probably, maybe. And when we first actually met, it was through Instagram. I've actually got screenshots, which I'm going to use as on my phone at the start of this kind of debate. But it's kind of crazy. We were just ranting about theories, and then we actually introduced each other. It's hilarious. Anyway, where is she? Hello? Has anyone seen Lucie? Anyone? Where is she? Guys, where could she be? You've got any ideas? I'm calling and she's not online. Bruh, sound effect. I sent you a gift on Discord. Okay, DJ. Oh, this is a bit of a struggle. I don't know what to do, guys. My collaborator's not turning up. This is a bit awkward. This is a bit, Guess that's it, guys. Guess we'll have to end the stream. Finding Nemo, Lucie. Right? Let's look around. She's not over there. I can't see her. I mean, she is on my desktop. It's only a drawing. Have you seen Lucie anywhere? Have you seen Lucie anywhere? I don't suppose.
Hi.
She goes by Soda Mum on Discord. Yeah, I don't suppose you recognise this account. No.
I don't know. Could be. Maybe. I mean, I think it could be mine.
Understandable. Have a nice day. Well, guys, I'm afraid I have to call off this stream. Come on in. This is why there wasn't a stream yesterday, guys. She's flown in all the way from Germany for the weekend, so we can actually do this in person. How crazy is that? I don't know why I'm wearing headphones. Let's resume the music. All right, we need that ambient music to get us in the zone. So tell me if the audio balance is iffy or whatever. But is that all right? Nearly bumped the hydration sources. I gotta be careful. It's a pretty precarious setup. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, oops.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you? Don't do it.
I just wanted to show off my Masters of Vegetation because it is a season.
Oh yeah, I've got a scrub glass, lemonade. She got this when she was flying over. I think it was where did you get this exactly? Was it at Bremen?
It was in Bremen.
Bremen, right?
The train station.
But yeah, transparent hydration is really cool. Very stylish. Just check that out. Show it off.
It's like a soda can, but it's transparent.
Turn it around so they can see like the...
Okay.
Okay. But anyways, I don't have any other announcements to already make, so I'm actually just going to get chat on the screen so I can read it. Okay, hanging my headphones up was probably not a great idea. But here we go. Mad lads. Yes, Fred guy, you and me, the mad lads. That is what this is. Oh shit, what is going on? I'm trying to work out a setup because I need to use my phone. So I was like, oh, I can just read chat off the screen, but now I'm running into issues that I did not expect. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, guys. Water's cool. Yeah. Hello, you big nerd. Hey, Olivia. Yeah, I know. I mean, I think Olivia's like the only person who knew about this before. I didn't tell anybody because surprise, but yeah.
I think I vaguely mentioned it, but I'm not sure. I mean, she knew.
You mentioned it too.
Not the thing. She knows that I'm here because I've told her, but she doesn't.
Wow, I had no idea.
I mean, it was kind of obvious.
I know, but it's like I haven't told my group because I wanted this to be a surprise for the stream, and yeah. It's kind of whack. We're going to get on with this now because we're nearly 10 minutes in and we haven't started. So what we're going to do, I've actually taken screenshots of our very first conversation on Instagram. This is how we met right here. And I've just taken a bunch of screenshots and we're going to read it out to begin some debate. Because what we're here to talk about, quite simply, is Five Nights at Freddy's theories. It's time we just got straight down to it and asked ourselves, what is the story here? There's so much, it doesn't make any sense.
Fun fact, we've big brained so hard about this that we
so hard.
Brain freeze and had to stop.
Yeah, literally. If you want a visual demonstration, guys, it's all very simple. All right, this shit right here, this, it's just exactly like that. But anyways, remember the QOTD because I'm gonna be spending most of this on the cam. Anyways, so yeah, like weirdest canon compliant theory, guys. You've got to convince me and Lucie. That's the criteria. So. When you're ready, let's do a bit of reading. So it started off when she posted something on her story, and I don't remember what exactly.
Okay, so what I posted on my stories, it was looking frustrated with the FNaF fan because everybody's always like, oh yeah, like what happened, you know, within the story, but nobody asked like the motives and the like psychological order of things.
She has a bit of a psychoanalysis,
and I really love that kind of stuff, and I have a lot of ideas and theories on it. And because Olivia actually, aka the Angry Fish, very dear friend of mine who also is very much into FNaF, who I sometimes talked about this with, we came up with like an alternate universe in a way, and also like a fanon idea of how to solve the problem with the motive, and I posted about it vaguely, and then he responded to it.
So yeah, I mean, I was wondering if anyone would like work it out, judging by the thumbnail and how it seemed like we were both in one place, even though it could have been like shot. But yeah, we've recreated the meme that is my desktop. Also, hashtag bring Shadow Freddy back is a thing. Let's move on. So yeah, she was posting about her psychoanalysis, and I replied to it because I've recently discovered her account. She's popped up in my search feed, and I'm like, wow, she does good art and she loves FNaF. Great. Just curious, what were the clues about his psychology/symbolism? I've never been able to work out why he did what he did.
Yeah, right.
In reference to Afton.
In the story, I actually mentioned that, like, specifically about William Afton, because there's a lot of like clues and hints about like what could have been his motive and what could have been his psychological development. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mentioned in the story, which is this.
The story starts with William Afton. Like he's the one behind the words. He's what starts this kind of crazy, but like there has to be something that came out of that. It's just how history works. We don't know why he did what he did. So, yeah, just read this out.
Okay, my response. Oh boy, I've been thinking of myself with Storm over this too, but I think I have a pretty sensible theory. My main point is that I think that aside from the crying child, the bully brother, and Elizabeth, aka Baby, he had a fourth child at some point, which is the fandom thing that I added in order to make everything compliant. But I think something happened to that put him into a state of immense grief. He didn't deal with it well in the slightest, shut everyone out, and even cut his own family out. Hints for this are Vlad and Clara, series from Distant Location, as a parallel, and a bunch of Ballara's voice lines. He didn't deal with it well in the slightest, shut everyone out, and wait, I'll revisit this.
Sorry.
Yeah, the screenshots.
My screenshots won't be perfect, just keep going.
Okay, but he's also never been as good as Henry in terms of robotics, and even though they opened their first restaurant together, it was only ever Henry who got the appreciation and respect for it. He was always in Henry's shadow and grew envious over time. You know, now with his own child missing or dead, I don't know what specifically of the two it would be, to be really honest, it must have really hurt and only intensified the jealousy he had to see Henry and his own daughter happy while he was grieving. At some point he snapped and killed her. Her death was, to be honest, really random too. And it was random that she possessed the puppet because it was a huge coincidence as well, so I doubt that he actually planned that assault, especially since he didn't even try to hide the body. He just dumped her behind the restaurant and took off. Sooner or later he finds out that she's possessing the puppet now, and you know, having been denied respect and appreciation for his own work for so long and simultaneously being mentally unstable as fuck, potentially having found the key to immortality must have made him obsessed with the idea of finding a way to replicate this effect, to find out how it works.
My response, okay.
literally just okay.
Okay, but like, I mean, it's underwhelming at the time, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like, unfortunately, there's no evidence to support the fourth child theory, but it's one of those things that would make sense if there was some clue about it. And yeah, it's obviously the jealousy of Henry with his family, and there has to be something as well. I mean, the puppet thing was spontaneous. It wasn't planned in the same way, and that's why we know it's also like the first murder as well as, you know, puppet giving life. So let's keep reading.
1 second though, I want to elaborate that like the reason I think that jealousy was a big thing is because it was also hinted in the books. And I try to not reference the books too much, but they do give very valuable information about William's character and personality, even though his interpretation there was a little lacking in terms of depth.
Yeah.
But in the basics, in essence, he was a very easily overlooked person and very easily jealous because Henry always had the whole appreciation. Everybody knew it's Henry's thing, you know, Henry's restaurant, Henry's like gig. But nobody ever like mentioned William any way or form. Yeah,
it specifically tells like readers and theorists that that's something worth looking into at the end of the updated edition of the like the FNaF survival guide, the Freddy Files updated edition. I've got all the books, but yeah, it's the books obviously are important. I've got some of them here actually. Yeah, that's where it is. It's up here. The books are important not because obviously the story, it's a different timeline. Charlie is a completely different character in some ways, but obviously like the shared technology of the discs, details of like characters. William Afton is still William Afton. But yeah, let's keep going. I need to unlock my phone because it's switched off. Okay. So okay.
I continued after that. Hence why he killed the 5 kids afterwards as well. He didn't just stuff them into the suits to hide the bodies, but also to try and prove himself right and that their souls were indeed able to possess the animatronics. Not gonna lie, it's fucking insane.
Force them together. I actually really like this theory. I've been writing some FNaF theories myself, and I was curious about what you meant. That all lines up to me except for one thing. Rather than a 4th child, which has never really been evidence for, I suggest swapping them with the wife. I somewhat doubt William adopted his children, and although Laura may not be Mrs. Afton, there is a hint of her existence in her lines in Sister Location and Ultimate Custom Night. She may have died or left him, it depends, but there were several factors into William's insanity, which will hopefully be explored in Into Madness, and this is like the speculation now. Good work linking things.
So thank you, Uwu.
And so it began. It all started here, guys.
By the time that I met Matthew, you zoomed out. By the time I met you, like I was already using Uwu unironically as like a bullshit thing.
Unironically, guys, it's terrifying.
Yeah. Okay, so, and then I said, to be honest, a big thing I realized just yesterday was the parallel of the Funtime animatronics mirroring his family in a way. Ballora equaling his wife, Baby his daughter, Funtime Foxy and Funtime Freddy, the 2 sons, and Art, of who we only have the mask until all others are put together, the lost child. And I said, yeah, I hope that too, but I don't think it was the wife who disappeared.
Music changed.
Yeah. But I don't think it was the wife who disappeared. Why would he attack Henry's daughter then? Also, I was actually getting to that point, LMAO.
And then I put a short series of exclamation marks. Well, comma, continue. This is so underwhelming. And like that parallel with the Funtimes, I'd never have thought of. But yeah, very interesting. Let's keep going. Also, John Part Elite Robo's comment. Jesus, it feels like I'm listening to a game theory script.
Yeah, that's like how like all of the like first like 20 conversations.
This is just this is just a conversation, not even a script. This is just spontaneous, straight what we were thinking at the time. Anyways, let's keep going.
Okay, it's partially loose headcanons though, and just me bridging ideas and thoughts, but I feel like it would make sense. Anyways, timeline-wise, Baby's death was before the bite of 83, as evidenced by the empty girl's room we find in one of the minigames. But Baby was specifically created to kidnap and kill children, so he must have gotten that crazy idea way before, which is why Henry started possessing the puppet.
The SL/FNaF 4, Sister Location / Five Nights at Freddy's 4 was years after the original murders, definitely.
Then I responded, after the theoretical fourth child disappeared, he was of course overwhelmed with grief. His wife tried his best to get him to communicate with her and be there for their other son once he was born, the bully brother. But William, out of defensive coping mechanisms to avoid being in as much grief again, refused to accept him as his own son. As time went on, he neglected him, of course, which probably caused him to be so mean and disrespectful to his younger sibling later, but eventually got more kids, maybe even slowly grew numb enough to his grief by focusing on his experiments so much. But then the baby thing happened. You can't just tell your wife that you've been secretly building child-murdering robots for years who now killed your daughter. She probably grew incredibly suspicious. He panicked and then killed her, thinking he will resurrect her later with his Scooper machine technology. Which worked. She's now in Ballora, hence why Ballora knows so much and is conscient. It also gave him an alibi to his remaining two sons. He could just tell them that the mother took the sister and moved out.
Yeah, just again deviating, like I literally just had a thought. I was like, okay, maybe instead of a fourth child, what if the reason he was jealous of Henry was actually to do with Michael? Because I'm just thinking about the Immortal and the Restless specifically, and the focus of, oh, this isn't my son. Maybe, again, we still don't know the reason why he didn't really regard Michael as his son, but maybe, like, it wasn't so much that he had another child who died, but that his relationship with his own child was so bad, it drove him to murder his, the man he's most jealous of. Because how would you describe Henry? Like, business partner, best friend, but also, like, he's jealous of him. I don't know, that just came into my head, but,
I kind of don't think so, because, like, even if his relationship with Michael was bad, there has to be a reason for it. I don't think it would be bad just because of it, for the sake of it, because even in the Immortal and Restless, like, it's very, very obvious that they're, like, that this child is his son, and she's also making it pretty clear. So I don't think that works as a parallel, and I don't really see, like, why that would, like, a bad relationship with the son would affect him to the point where he would attack Henry's daughter.
Fair. Yeah.
Yes, right. Henry's like the best mate who's got it all figured out, pretty much.
Yes, literally. Again, because my point there only opens up another question. Well, why doesn't he like Michael, if that's the case? But my response at the time was so disappointed. I was like, wow, that adds up. Wow, that's it. That's all I said.
And I was like, right?
Double question mark. And I was like, I don't really have a counter. Jesus, scared! Tony, what are you doing here? Alright, bye. I don't really have a counter-argument, TBH. That's, to be honest, cool kid slang. It might be right. I was like, shit, she's smarter than I am. I don't say anything.
Is that it would also explain why there was never really a mother figure shown aside from hints of Ballora's voice lines. Also, I think Michael is the bully brother. He's the oldest son and witnessed more than William probably knew. Also, it makes sense considering Michael has this intense I need to find my dad and help fix this complex. He feels bad for accidentally killing his brother and wants redemption.
Hence Sister Location with Michael deciding to work there. Sorry.
Yeah, but he's probably still yearning for acceptance and recognition from his father, even though he was so bad to him. Because I think after the bite of 83, William had to live through 3 or 4 people in his family die in the span of probably only a few months. He snapped and took it out on Michael and used him as a test subject for a project of his. It is mentioned in the books and hinted at Sister Location, but never outright mentioned, so I'll just call them the illusion discs for now.
One was with Afton Robotics LLC written on them.
Yeah, essentially they affect the audio processing in your brain and makes it overwhelmed, forcing it to fill the visual gaps that occur by itself, hence causing an illusion of realism, although it depends on the person it affects. In Michael's case, he was probably traumatized from watching his brother get bitten into a coma, so in his case, robots equipped with those discs look like nightmarish versions of their main animatronics. I could be very wrong though, since it's very unclear of who William's sons
Michael is,
so take this with a grain of salt. But for the sake of my hypothetical storyline, it made more sense to me to have Michael be the bully brother.
I just want to interrupt here slightly. I don't understand the logic of Michael being the FNaF 4 child. Because MatPat had that theory that it was like an android rebuilt in the same way as Charlie, but it just doesn't make any sense. Michael, the whole Ennard thing happened and his like body rotted. If he's a robot, that can't be. They died in completely separate ways, and whereas if Michael is the younger brother, then this older brother's just there in FNaF 4 and then never shows up again.
And in our conversation,
I strongly agree.
Yeah, in text, we're actually gonna get to that point as well, because I raged off.
Yeah, she's like, and I'm like, that's all this conversation is. But yeah, let's keep going.
So I said, my pet thinks Michael is the crying child, but rebuilt as a robot, which I'm not gonna lie, I think is absolutely bullshit.
It was the next page.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm liking all of these, by the way.
Yeah, we literally see Michael's corpse rot away around Ennard. Robots don't rot. Plus, the scooper is made to inject soul remnant into mechanical beings, but in his case, it probably locked his soul into his body, making it possess his own corpse, which is why he's still alive.
Absolutely agree. MatPat has never made a mistake so bad. Dead emoji. I was like, this guy's been phenomenal at drawing conclusions from this game series for so long, and then in his, 10th final theory, he comes to that. I was disappointed because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah, I said I do get the parallel with the books, but it doesn't make sense in too many ways.
Mike is the bully brother, old enough to be the Sister Location player years later.
Agreed.
I think that Sister Location it's obviously after FNaF 4, but it could be like between like weeks or like as late as like early 1987, between 4 and 2.
I need to
Sorry.
like a little bit.
Don't mind me just resting my arm on your thighs. Are you comfy? Are you good?
I'm better now.
But yes, the books have concepts needed to debunk the dream theory, such as the discs, and explain Sister Location, but the story isn't canon. The story ain't canon, so it's confusing.
Rick, I read your question, but I think it's gonna come up in the conversation later, and if it does, it will explain. But so far, I'm just gonna keep reading this.
I think I understand the nightmares, but again, 4 is the tricky game. Like, you're never quite sure what's going on there, probably because of those discs. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, so I said, also, the one who probably was more aware of his mom and dad breaking apart, hence why he's watching that Vlad and Clara TV show, he's still invested in it because it's a scenario he's familiar with. Actually,
there is something in the survival logbook to support this, because in the other sections, it's like, who do you look up to? Michael's actually written about Clara, because I can't remember, but it's like, he relates to her on the fact that it's like she's completely normal when everything else is seeming kind of crazy, but he's the only one who sees it because that's what he thinks of Freddy's. Anyway, let's keep going.
Said, yeah, also not gonna lie, William in the books was so terribly written, I raged off about it because I got really mad. He had no motives, no reasons, he was just a fucking weirdo. And there were so many hints to a deeper backstory for him in the game, so that Loki pissed me off, haha. I
can see why. Yeah, TSC, the theorise, was cool, but it really went downhill after that. What was hinted in the books was that he was Ennard, which never came to pass. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. Like, the way he is in theorise, it's just beyond weird. Still, hopefully Fazbear Frights will be better. Oof, my messages aren't sending.
Yeah, so, we kept having interruptions.
We don't need to read out everything, but this is just us ranting about the books now. There are good points about the books. John actually became a likable character in the 4th closet, but...
Olivia, yeah, I've yelled at Olivia a lot about this, so we raged off together, but...
FNaF book rants, TM. Salty. Help Wanted fuels my idea of the nightmares, actually. Ooh, that's interesting, Rick. Okay, I was just asking in chat too, right, but they actually kill you in that game.
Yeah, they do.
And DJ's saying hallucination, but in UCN they are real. I mean, because UCN everything's real, sort of. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, UCN is like a massive hallucination.
It's a pocket dimension, so everything's real in that. But it's not in the same reality. It's weird, man. But yeah, let's keep reading.
Okay. Yee.
Just
yee.
All that build up, just yee.
Yee without a T.
Oh.
Yee without a T.
Oh, there we go. Lol.
So TBH, I'm glad the VR game had such a separate story so far. It didn't touch the other games as much as one would have expected. I'm so fucking hyped just got Dust decided to make into Madden's a thing.
Except now they're not exactly canon. I don't like how Wanted Lord too much, but fair enough.
Yeah, it was decent enough.
I would have just made it non-canon, crying with laughter. And yeah, just to explain this in more detail, guys, because it's just me voicing opinions at the time, like... Help Wanted is confirmed canon. It wasn't back then. I wasn't sure. I always thought it was weird because it was basically saying that everything we know is meaningless and it may or may not be true. And it's like, it doesn't have to be canon, Scott.
Same timing.
I know, right? This is one of my favourite tunes. Forgotten Sunday Show. That's what this channel's going to be in 20 years. I mean, this is supposed to be on Sundays, but anyway. But yeah, I'm not dissing Help Wanted. It's got a great story, but I don't like how it ties in with the other games. It's too confusing, personally. Anyways, let's keep going.
Okay. I'm glad we got to see the replacement suit after the spring announced got cancelled, though.
Is that what it is? Ooh.
Since that's what I think Glitch Trap is. But at the time, people were, no, it's male hair, Glitch Trap. People still debated. I settled on Glitch Trap because it felt better.
Yeah, the thing is, I think there was some kind of confusion because Glitch Trap is the name of a Springtrap animation that was unused. Also, it doesn't make sense for Malhair to have trap in its name when it's not like a suit, but semantics, guys, who cares? I'm just also catching up with chat. I want to edit Matt to be Mr. Society like I did to Scott. I saw that, dear God, that's nightmare fuel.
Also, Rick, I can agree with that under circumstances. Like, it could, because... Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm not sure if I can like properly place it into my specific timeline, but like that's a good thought.
Yeah, his theory, a very basic way of explaining his theory is that actually the nightmare animatronics are the city location animatronics, and it's kind of weird because they don't quite line up, but it could work. It's a wild one. I don't personally believe it, but I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, he's not an actual animatronic. He said it. Well, in Help Wanted, Springlock suits might not even exist.
And I said, yeah, we wouldn't know.
Well, anyways, thanks a lot for that. And then at this point, we could have just moved on. But I decided, opportunity time. I had no ulterior motive, guys. I was just curious. Who do you think Fred Smith is? It's a bit random, isn't it? Fred Smith. But it's relevant.
And I said, I think it's a fake name Michael used. I had to correct myself because I sent off too early. But I could be wrong, so crying and laughing emoji. To be honest, the names confused me a bit still. Gotta think about that, lol.
I agree. It's the odor. Is that proof Mike has been zombified, so this is post this location, or just made up excuses that Fazbear Entertainment always uses for any of its employees?
I said, I think that was after SL. Then again, I don't know.
This single piece of evidence is key to placing sister location.
I said, it wouldn't really line up with William going back over the years to destroy the animatronics and getting Springtrap, though.
And that's another way. It's ambiguous, but given the similarity to FNaF 1, I'm certain it's Mike. Like, there's only one difference, and that's in FNaF 1, Mike was fired for general unprofessionalism. In FNaF 2, he wasn't.
Yeah, okay, since he sat in that room afterwards for 20 to 30 years.
It lines up with his motives, too.
Yeah.
I've lost the thread. What motives? What? Oh, right, sister location. Yeah, sorry, because we were typing at the same time. Easy to follow. But yeah, that's the point. The point that Lucie was making is that William going back in the FNaF 3 minigames lines up with his motives because it's post-sister location. That's what you're saying. So Springtrap doesn't exist when sister location's happening. It was after. William got Springtrapped after FNaF 2, but I also think it's post FNaF 1. Could go either way though. Could be pre or post FNaF 1.
I said, wait, after FNaF 2, are you sure? The Withered animatronics were remade and then reused in FNaF 1, which is what we see, and they're open there for not that short of a time either. But the only reason William got Springtrap is because he destroyed the FNaF 1 animatronics, which were in an already severely withered location. It wouldn't really make sense for him to get Springtrap after FNaF 2 with this evidence, in my opinion. But I'm open to hear reasons why you think so, LMAO.
This is great. Like, we were just debating the shout. I want to just take a moment to read chat again as well, because we are getting a lot of messages. Always love it. Where's my mouse? But yeah, Peter's here.
Wait, scroll up a little bit more
Sorry.
again. It's a question for Lucie. What do you think of the Springlock suit in SL? That is a good question. I am still unsure. Deadly situation. If we're gonna get out with this. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure.
I have a different theory
so far.
because I feel like you've just got to try and make connections wherever you can, because Scott doesn't just throw in stuff randomly. Well, I mean, he does, but like, judging by the shape of the face, some of you will probably disagree, but I think it could be Funtime Chica. Now that sounds a bit weird because it's like, hold on, it's a Springlock suit. It's a suit. But the only other time we see Funtime Chica is in Pizzeria Simulator. For all we know, Henry's gone back and salvaged it and actually, like, because he was the engineer who may have even had a hand in building her in the first place, as well as building all the original characters, he could have like fitted it to not be a suit, or maybe it's just in suit mode whenever we're always seeing it in Pizzeria Simulator. That can be explained. but also the fact that she's a fun time, it would make sense that she was in that location. And in the timetable in the source code before Sister Location was released, there was an out-of-service character, and people thought, oh, it's Ennard, but Ennard isn't actually a real character who ever existed. So there's got to be another character. Yendo would be a good candidate, but there was an out-of-service character, and Funtime Chica existing in Pizzeria Simulator, and the similarity with the mask, in my opinion, seems to point that she was actually there in the scooping room. And that's why she's also not possessed. She was out of order, which is why she's safe, and Henry might have refitted her to not have like child-killing stuff in Pizza Sim. I don't know.
Also, Rick, I agree. This El Springlock always seemed like a prototype. The model didn't seem to have any interesting features. I agree with that, and like considering that, like we do know that Funtime Chica was a thing that existed, because we had like Chica's Pizza Party Place, whatever the fuck it was. I don't exactly remember what the proper name was, but it's kind of like that. We knew from the code it was in there. It was mentioned. Oh, what if that was that sister location that got closed down?
Wait, what do you think?
We remember when we were at the debate in between, like about like the actual sister location.
There's this one detail in the FNaF 3 phone call.
Yeah, it's like we call it the paradox because like it's going in circles.
There's this paradox about the Springlock suits and the murders happening either way around, because it's a paradox either way, and it's the one piece of evidence that MatPat chose to override, but it's not the retcon that Scott mentioned. But to be honest, I don't think Scott recognises all the retcons, because we had that in the QOTD last time. I was like, okay, people are saying it's the box, but I was like, no, it's the puppet's gender. But actually, both have changed. So there's more than one retcon. I'm just also reading chat. Then again, I don't know. It's a FNaF theory mood. Agreed. Peter and Rick, I agree with your sentiments. I am one of the few brave people, as well as Lucie, who actually are going out here to try and solve this goddamn thing. Like, let me just show you. If I go back to the display capture, I have it open right here. This, guys, this is like my Five Nights at Freddy's like document thing. I'm writing up a full theory that going over like all the games. I even gave them funky nicknames to make it a little bit more interesting. Even FNaF World is on here in full. And I haven't finished the timeline for Pizzeria Simulator, but the latest timeline I have is this. You're not even probably gonna be able to read it. It's kind of whack. But you see the bright red here. That's the paradox, because the Springlock suits, we see them function in FNaF 4, which is after the murders, years after the murders potentially. But we also know that the murders are implied to have happened while they were out of commission, because in the call they mentioned it being moved after the warning. It's weird. It's very weird, and like I don't know how to explain that.
It also keeps being like it's been said that at the sister location there was a Springlock failure, which is why they got put out of commission. And it's kind of strange because like we don't know the sister location aside from the SL sister location.
That's the obvious choice.
But that one is underground and was only open for one day, which is something that Baby mentioned.
Yeah, there's Pizza World and there's the rental.
Yeah, and the rental service got shut down after the Pizza World got closed due to leaks.
Yeah.
Which was the official closing statement, but I'm pretty sure that it was the Baby incident.
Yeah. It is weird. I'm just sorry. I'm just reading more of chat, but like, please rename to the FNaF clusterfuck. I'm gonna politely decline because connecting dots is it's a hobby of ours. It is a title with great significance to me and Lucie, so. Good suggestion though. Pete's just mad. I got confused over all the contrasting theories and the theories that kept getting altered. That's just what they are, guys. They're theories. No one knows what really happened. Except, I don't think even Scott knows what really happened. To be honest. You know what? I don't think it's as simple as he's gotten MatPat to write his story for him, like some cynical YouTube comments say. There might be an element of that.
I mean, considering how wrong MatPat was with the Michael Afton thing. I mean, he did make a good point with like his last FNaF update, where he mentioned like, oh yeah, what about... Yes, Olivia, we didn't connect shit.
Another moderator just handled this. Just as I clicked it, someone else did. Rick,
anyway, so where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry. We can just keep reading because we've seriously deviated on this point.
But that's the point. Like, we wanted this to give like us conversation material.
I mean, guys, technically the stream's only supposed to be an hour, and we're technically halfway through. But I think we're gonna go over. So just keep it flowing, right? We've got time. But smidge. You guys didn't connect shit. Alright, let's focus. Let's get back to it. So we were up to... hold on. Well, I'm open to hear reasons why you think so, Lamau. So, next.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna scroll back a little bit, see...
We read up to there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I said it must have happened years after FNaF 1. If Michael was there, he must have been there when it was still opened. Also, I low-key misread your message, so I'm sorry for this word wall, LMAO.
Only now is you realising. I mean, yeah, so obviously that's in reference to the FNaF minigames. I was saying, okay, so what I can tell so far is that William murdered 5 children in 1987 who went on to possess the toys. It's okay. He can't be out and about and Springtrapped at the same time because, you know, he's FNaF 2 is like it's the climax of the timeline. That's where Afton's out and about. He was here, now he's here. Things are going to shit, but he can't be Springtrapped at the same time. So it has to be after FNaF 2. The FNaF 1 original location could still be decrepit years after it's FNaF 2, and then we get this.
Is it? Wait, what?
What? Because I made an assumption, which could be totally wrong, but I believe it. FNaF 1 doesn't start until 6 years after FNaF 2.
They said, no, there can't be anime. The train returns unpossessed.
No, I'm still typing at the same time, so I don't address it for a moment. It might not have been around long. They must be, though. Save Them is in the 87 location. The guy who worked before Jeremy was William.
I said, no, they're just acting up because of the facial scanning stuff.
Which phone guy mentions.
And I said, yeah, but you're playing the minigame that's with the animatronics. Wait, what? I'm a brain fart.
We literally had this debate the other day.
Yeah, we came back to it.
I think I'm going to outline it, the evidence, because I strongly believe the toys are possessed. I know it's a bit frustrating because they won't give any proper conclusion, but to me there seems to be a lot of evidence in FNaF 2. I'm just checking chat. Oh, man. Ooh, that's an interesting theory, Rick. Like, the shadows, that's kind of the popular opinion. I'm not sure. But I'll keep reading for now.
What just happened?
What did you do to your nails?
It didn't do anything, it just kind of snapped.
Could you just not break your nails? Time and place, Lucie.
It just broke off.
What are you doing?
I have pretty long nails.
She does. I've been keeping my trim.
And this one just broke off. It didn't hurt or anything, but I was like, they're uneven.
Anyway, so now fair enough. Let it sink in. It's very confusing, but it was definitely William. Phone guy basically confirms it. I'm just gonna go into the assumption you guys know the evidence because I assume she already knew everything anyways because we're nerds like that.
Yeah, so I kind of don't think so though. That would make his kill count up to 11.
But here's my response. Well, why not? The 5 souls and the bloodstains, this is in the Save Them minigame around the location, combined with the rumours, no matter how tragic phony mentions seem clear to me. Remember, this is too, especially with what we know about Sister Location. This is like so long after the original murders. It can't be rumours about the original murders because those were before 1983. They might have been in the 70s, from what we know. Also, previous employees are banned from entry during the lockdown. William probably saw the grand reopening as an opportunity, or maybe he was in some kind of... Maybe he was furious after his Funtime animatronics disappeared the previous year. SL's ending is around 1984 to 86 by my estimate. It would have put Afton Robotics out of business and cost Afton a lot, because actually, again, the timetable, there were private parties with Baby and Ballora scheduled for the weekend after, and I can only begin to imagine, logically, if he just found the shells in the scooping room, he would have owed people a lot of money. And also, maybe he's looking for Michael.
So, I don't know if that really fits. Why would he look for Michael? Because, in that moment, I thought, he hates this guy. He hates, this guy that is supposedly his son that he never accepted as such. So, then again, he did ask him to free Baby, but also the Funtime animatronics were only used once. And it was when Elizabeth got killed. After that, they've not been active. The trailer for SL hinted that they have not been in the entry in a long time. Forgotten, left behind, left to rot, that kind of stuff, you know? I don't think Elizabeth's death left William entirely cold. He did care enough about her to continuously tell her to stay away from the animatronics.
I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't actually agree with everything I'm saying here because I'm not going into enough detail, but I'm just going to keep reading out. The Sister Location animatronics were used for rental services.
I said, no, that was the original plan. Baby said she was only on stage once.
According to the timetable in the source code, there were 2 private parties coming up.
And was also the last time.
Yeah, that's when Circus Baby's Pizza World was open.
They were supposed to be used as rentals, but after the incident, the plan was never put into action.
She had a rough day before night 5, like Funtime Freddy before night 3. Why would the place be running if the service wasn't? That location must have been expensive.
That's a pre-recorded voice telling you that, though. It could be that it's just a standard telling.
Maybe, but it reacts to your actions during the repair sequence. Hand unit is more like an AI.
Yeah, but it can still only tell you what's programmed to tell.
Not conscious, I think, but mindful.
So it's explaining you the steps, and upon finishing them, it has the already prepared answer.
Makes sense, I guess. How did they get damaged then?
Maybe they were never fully repaired, or there was never any time anything.
Typos,
yeah.
man. The freaking typos on here.
Yeah. Or there was never anything wrong with them, and it was just William making you remove the evidence as his last resort plan. The little black thingies you take out of the front of animatronics are illusion discs, and Baby's repair thingies were manipulated attempt of reactivating her, and it was already existent during that whole ordeal. Oh wait, no, hold on, wrong. I don't know what the code she makes you put into her is, but the jump scare when you fail is ended without the faceplates. I corrected my shit there. Is that yikes brain fart?
And I was like, okay, I'm someone to read chat. People are talking about the shadows. I just want to deviate for a second. I think the shadows are Springlock victims that tampered into William's business. Logical conclusion, right? But it's like, again, there's not really enough specific evidence about the shadows. They are interesting though. And Peter's like, they're the seen by insert the person here I can't remember who at the time was on some dodgy acid.
I'm having a big brain thought.
Big brain thought. Everyone pay attention.
The shadow animatronics could be the two technicians that
Yes! I had that same thing several weeks ago. I was just going over things. I was like, oh shit. 2 employees who could have been killed by forms of Freddy and Bonnie, Funtime Freddy and Bon Bon, before FNaF 2 in the timeline. And it was like, it's a bit weird because it's like, okay, so they somehow ended up in the 2 location, but maybe they're just Easter eggs in 2, but in 3, everyone's called back anyway, so that could still work. It's kind of weird, but I agree with that theory. Basically, I think they're the technicians, which is weird to say because it's like, that can't have been planned, but...
Also, something that kind of makes it not work is the appearance. You know, these were designed after the original look of Freddy and obviously Shadow Bonnie, which is not even like in a specific shape, it's just a silhouette.
It's Toy Bonnie, but the teeth are different.
Yeah, and it's also like in this location present where like the only Bonnie figure that was present was Bon Bon. The hand puppet is tiny.
But it's still a Bonnie, so...
Yeah, but it still doesn't align with, like, the rest of the evidence, because, like, Shadow Bonnie is a full-on, like, full size animatronic.
I suppose, but it's like, I don't know, I mean, the Shadow Freddy takes withered Golden Freddy rather than Funtime Freddy. They're still quite different. Oh, interesting questions in chat before we continue another topic. I feel this is the kind of stream where saying, what about Dreadbear as a valid threat? And then DJ's asked, based on Rick's comment, question for Matt. What do you think of Dreadbear?
Wait, no, not!
No, don't! Honest answer, I don't have enough information yet. We need to wait until October 29th because the DLC hasn't even fully released. As far as I've seen, it's just minigames. There's no apparent story. There's like a glitchy gravestone and like Malhair's gotta be in this DLC somewhere, you'd think. But like, at the moment, Dreadbear's just big Frankenstein Freddy. I mean... I guess, Autumn Fest Full 83, maybe that was a real thing in the timeline and there was like a Dreadbear as a special character created, or maybe it was just by the company for the VR game in the canon. Maybe it doesn't mean anything at all. You know?
Okay, also,
I don't know. There's not enough information.
Also, Peter, that's a good question. What do Freddy and Bonnie have in common? Knowledge we know from the first few games due to how many were. I think the main thing is that like both were like the original 2. Like at first there was of course Freddy, like Fredbear, and then there was also like Spring Bonnie, which were the first 2 main characters before they were turned into Springlock hybrid suits.
It's really weird because it's like. There's a bit of conflation with how Fredbears became Freddy Fazbears and how Fredbear and Spring Bonnie went to be Freddy and Bonnie because they are effectively the same, but like, a part of me thought, okay, well maybe there was something dodgy happened and there was a reason for a rebrand. Maybe the Charlie being murdered and the whole scenario with the puppet led to a need for them to like clean up their act and try and cover it up, so they like built new animatronics for it and actually used the money they'd already earned to expand the franchise. Maybe things just coincided. It's not really clear and it's not too important, but like it is weird because there is a bit of conflation. Like Freddy and Fredbear are in effect the same character if we really think about it. Like on the show stage in front of the kids, I don't know. They're both the main bear with the hat and bow tie. Like It's weird. I'm not really sure. They're almost the same model in FNaF 1. Yes, I know about that. F in chat for Shadow Freddy. Everyone's just hashtag pray for Shadow Freddy because Shadow Bonnie's in the AR game, made it to UCN, but not Shadow Freddy. Poor Shadow Freddy. Elite. Right.
I'm gonna check Elite.
This better be worth it, mate, you know? I could even bring up on the stream if you want, but you want to bring up on your phone. I'm not going to bring up on the stream, guys. Go check the Discord. Link's in the description. You haven't joined. Lucie, what has he done?
It's loading. My phone is slow. There's your 3 messages from earlier.
What's he done? Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
Oh, God. I've seen this already. Oh, God. No. No. Put it away. Good God. Delete this. Oh,
Wow.
you know what? I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to delete it when the stream's over. So save what you still can, because that shit's cursed. That was cursed.
I'm very cursed.
The Curse of Dreadbear. Anyway, let's keep reading. So we're talking about 2 and sister locations. Bit of confusion about
basically,
what the
I had a brain fart. I thought completely wrong. I was like,
She got mixed up between the rental and the thing. But we're going to read something because sister location needs clarification. It is confusing. So, okay. They must be difficult to maintain. I never thought of the whole thing being a cover-up plan. Now, in all honesty, I knew that you'd gotten mixed up at this point, and I was entertaining the idea to try and make it clear without sounding rude, because, it would take ages to get the facts. So what I was doing is questioning Lucie's theory. What does that mean for the technicians then? Did they know? Surely not. Because if this location's closed like she says, and how come there's other people just working there, like Michael?
Said, I don't know if there were any, if there ever were any, if I'm honest. We saw silhouettes of 2 hung people in one night and heard voices that could have easily been entered changing the voice. We do know that, if I remember correctly, Funtime Freddy had a function that allows him to lure kids by imitating parents. I don't know what the hell is up with the silhouettes though. Wait, never mind. Baby does confirm that there have been other technicians. The thing with the crawl space she mentions, and her talking about every time they tried to fix her, she still had something bad inside of her, which I think is her coding. She was all after a program to kill.
Yeah! It's a trick, but there is truth in it. The interview and the intro supports this. So anyways, thanks for that, laughing emoji. Amazing theories. Not many people I know have this much to say about it. I literally found you on the FNaF tag today, laughing emoji again. Which country are you from? I don't know, flags.
Yeah.
Sweat smile. Real smooth, Matt.
So, thanks. It was honestly a blast to exchange some thought with somebody, and from Germany, LMAO.
Now, I'm not sure. This conversation deviates from the theme of FNaF theory, so I'm not going to bother reading it all out, but, I've got it here, and we basically actually introduced each other and started talking. So that's how we met, guys. All of that, and then it was like, oh, yes, I'm 19, I only have school on Mondays and Tuesdays. I work, hey, I get paid, so, you just...
I need to stretch my back.
Fair enough.
Fucky.
Fair enough. And then we talked about uwus. Somehow ended up using them unironically. My friends rubbed off on me. But yeah, and then we had the combined emoji. Sorry guys, this is just an indulgent Matt and Lucie fest. Now we're gonna close this up, alright. But yeah, that was a wild ride, and we've got plenty to talk about. And I like how chat's bouncing off. So actually, just to be clear, guys, what Lucie got mixed up was, and we talked about this in the future conversation, I think, the Circus Babies Pizza World was a location before FNaF 4, possibly in 83, maybe 82, whatever. It was open for one day. There were a couple of weeks prior where kids from here and there got to play test it, and what eventually happened is that it was all very sudden. Things were taken out in the night under tarpaulins, the Funtime animatronics, the sister location equipment, moving to the bunker, which is being built at that time, presumably. And this is why I feel like there could be a few years and sister location could be as late as early 1987, late 1986, because thinking about the bunker and everything, it must have taken time and money to build, and it's like they wouldn't have had that ready during the preparation for Circus Babies Pizza World. Maybe, but I don't feel like they would. I feel like they'd have enough space on site for storage or whatever. But yeah, obviously that happens. The animatronics are transported. I have a theory that actually instead, because I don't see a logical way that the remnant from the Withers could have been put in the scooper, that actually the reason it's mentioned that children from here and there go is because there are actually murders there, in addition to the Elizabeth accident, which is what caused Afton to actually close the whole thing off. He has no comment, the entrepreneur who finds the venture. And then the gameplay is the rental, and that starts after FNaF 4, and that's where the confusion lies, because, I mean, there's a girl who looks like Circus Baby of FNaF 4, which we thought was Elizabeth, but no, it's actually just a hint that the sister location exists at the time. It's so convoluted, but it makes sense after you really go over everything. I'm just Curse of Dreadmat. I can smell the fanfictions. Dreadbear is just a spin-off character. Do not get him tied up with this convoluted clusterfuck. What were you thinking? I don't even know what's being said. Freddy, are you okay? Are you having a stroke? Breadbear would be good. I'm gonna open some sweets now because I'm hungry. Want some Turkish delight? Actually got your own one of these, didn't you?
I actually am not hungry. I ate too much pizza.
Fair enough. We had pizza. It was great. But so yeah, guys, let's keep talking theories. What do you think? And because Lucie got the sister location rental and the location mixed up, she's currently winning the award for the most ridiculous theory, in my opinion. Like, remember, guys, the TD here, weirdest canon compliant theory you can think of.
Get out, just get out.
Someone has to win it. It better be you than no one. Look, you win a shout out. You get your link for inscription twice. That's
not if you mock me. Not if you mock me.
I'm just kidding. But I would probably win some awards for silly theories. But yeah.
Again, guys, it has to be canon compliant, meaning you have to have points and reasons why
you can't just say balloon points the killer. Ha, funny. No, you have to actually have a reasoned argument.
At least one reason.
I think placing sister location in the timeline is a really good starting point for advanced theories, because that's where it gets complicated, and it's actually ambiguous. It could be before or after too, depending on Fritz Smith being Mike or not. But like, Foxy is actually a good guy though. Rick, that theory's not supporting. I got debunked with FNaF 2. Sorry, pal. Sparky the dog. Not a theory as such, but an Easter egg. Still a cool one. But yeah, what I was thinking, right? So basically, what I was thinking, I mean, we could actually end the stream soon, actually, though, because we've reached the end of the prompt, and there's 5 minutes left to go. It's actually fit more perfectly than I thought. Sparky in FNaF 3? What are you talking about? Okay, we're deviating, alright? My point was, sister location, what did I say about sister location? The, I think placing it is, like, pretty important, because it's kind of ambiguous. Never mind. BB could realistically break your legs. I don't know. The, shoot, what was I forgot what I was gonna say.
I don't know either. I can't look into your head.
Chat is just so active. I'm just gonna munch on this for a second, because I had a thought. Oh my god, Elite Robo. That, even though it's clearly the Freddy model, I think he's won the shout out, at least so far.
Yeah. He
has no face. It's gotta be the mask we're wearing. Guys, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Even though Phone Guy specifically calls it a Freddy Fazbear mask.
The thing is, it wasn't that people actually compared like the nose width and everything of the mask to like try and like prove that or debunk that.
Let's actually, weird point from FNaF 2, which requires a bit of thinking to explain. The mask in the dream sequences, they're called dreams. Excuse me, I need hydration. The dreams that Jeremy has, presumably. I'm not even gonna read that out. Rick, I'm just so stupid, so words. Your pathetic human legs.
I don't know why. I just you know Playmobil.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, Playmobil.
Looks like that.
He immediately inhibits himself by only breaking your flashlight. Wow. But the dream sequences in FNaF 2, obviously you're Freddy. You're Freddy on the stage in what appears to be 5 Nights at Freddy's 1. And it's like, the mask isn't quite the same as the one you wear in FNaF 2. But it's just because different models, withered and unwithered. Right, simple, cool. But like, why is Jeremy having these dreams? It would make sense if, like, oh, maybe they're memories of, you know, you have the puppet and Golden Freddy looking at him separately. And it's very subtle, but it's actually an opportunity for psychoanalysis on Freddy himself of all characters. But the point is, I think, is that actually he never really wanted to be the leader, and he wasn't suited for the role, but just because he happened to go into the leader of the band, just a small psychoanalysis I came up with, but there was something else, and it's that actually, it's the FNaF 1 models. But the hint that if this is some kind of dream or memory that's being passed on to him, it's actually the puppet moving in front. It's when they're first possessed. It's when the puppet's first given life to them in the location. And this makes sense because the FNaF 1 location we know to be the original one, which they went back to after FNaF 2 because low budget. And Golden Freddy only appears after them. Maybe he was the last to be killed of the 5. Apparently,
I'm pretty sure,
was the first.
because like remember the give life minigame? Mm-hmm. The puppet went around and gave all of the 4, and then the last one in the middle, that's when the Freddy jumps out, the Golden Freddy head.
Yes, you got to remember, guys. This is an important detail, and I forget this sometimes. The puppet did not give life to Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy came back out of sheer rage, which is why Golden Freddy probably appears after the puppet, and just completely separately. And Foxy's in Pirate's Cove.
That would also
in the dreams.
Listen, that would also explain like why it has like this like background whisper voice for the other animatronics. Because like, so I have the theory that when a soul willingly possesses an animatronic, that's when they become fully sentient, when they can like form proper thought and words. Like the puppet, for example.
Yes.
Have I never told you about that?
I'm not sure, but that makes sense. The puppet, Circus Baby, Golden Freddy, they were all
William
souls.
Afton.
And William Afton, Sweetheart, they all chose to come back.
Too.
But the original 4 were kind of just thrown in there by the puppet because they wanted to help. As, depending on what you believe, with the others.
Which is why they're so feral. They're like not there on their own will. They were just put in there. Mm-hmm. They don't know what's going on. They don't understand what's going on because to them, like, they would have been moved on. They would have moved on if it wasn't for the puppet.
Yeah. So maybe puppet's actually motivation, as well as whatever logistics and, you know, biomechanics would come with the animatronics.
Yeah, which is why they're so feral. Like, don't really have any like voice, which like for example when Chica only communicates and like grunts and like moans.
That moaning sound from FNaF 1 is the reason Chica is the scariest character to me in FNaF 1,
yes.
even more than Freddy.
Yes.
Because when I first heard that back in 2015, and I was 14 years old, first going to FNaF, I freaked out. Nothing in the game scared me except for that noise. Because also there's noise when they're in the office and the jump scares. You can argue objectively the jump scares from FNaF 1 are the worst because obviously Scott got better at game design as he practiced more, but they are scary. It's a well-made game for, like, you know, what it is, and
definitely
it sticks in your mind, those jump scares. We have reached the end of the stream, but I was planning to run over from the start. The whole game was rigged from the start. You're gonna be here for another hour. JK. But
okay, alright.
The weird thing is this, guys, all of this has one problem. In this dream sequence, which is presumably a memory of when they were first possessed, it's the FNaF 1 animatronics. It's what we might call the original classic designs, but in the timeline, they didn't actually exist until after FNaF 2, because we see the Wizards are... The Wizards have, like, physically different models, and it's like, well, how can that be? And I have a weird theory that explains it, and it's that there must be, at some point, actually, the Withered costumes were actually not the original costumes, and what they did, they either had prototypes or spares, which became the FNaF 1 costumes, or actually, originally, they had the FNaF 1 costumes what they looked like when the characters were originally created. And then for one reason or another, perhaps the murders, they switched to the Wizards. Again, kind of like the same rebrand argument with Fredbear's to Freddy to try and, like, distance themselves from dodgy stuff. I'll admit, like, it sounds loose, but it's like, that always bugged me. It's the FNaF 1 model. It can't be before, or can it? So, it's not really a consequential detail, but it's fun to think about these things, and that's the point of this stream, guys. Just going through that first conversation, there's so much to think about. We can bounce ideas off each other forever, but these guys are just memeing the fuck out of BB. BB finesses all. BB is charged with tax evasion and grievous bodily harm in 3 continents. BB is about to finesse the fuck out of AA batteries. Jeremy is confirmed to be Freddy confirmed, lol. DJ, you don't get it, do you? Oh gosh. BB is the ultimate criminal, that's why he was only at the FNaF 2 location. Bad influence for the kiddies. escaped convict of Arkham Asylum.
BB is the Joker.
He's a Joker. BB is okay. Fred guy, too far. But yeah, I mean, again, in case it wasn't clear already, guys, this is my argument for the toys being possessed is this. Purple Guy is the previous security guard in FNaF 2, and he basically flees the scene after rumours lead to an investigation, which lead to a lockdown, especially regarding previous employees, which is exactly his description.
The background check on him, and he noticed that they were starting to investigate him again, and I think they were still... My thought is that I think they were still tailing him from the previous murders, which is why he was there. He did go there under an alibi, like he did go there under a fake name. He worked this day shift without them knowing that he was previous employee there.
Dave Miller. That's my headcanon. If FNaF 2 wrote as Dave Miller, it has to be.
Yeah, because like we do know that he leaves like just before the lockdown. And then people, because
like
the choice like, yeah, our like day shift place was just freed. You know, it just fuck. How did you phrase it? I mean, I do technically have it on my stick, but like,
do we really have time to?
Nah.
We had loads of extra resources which we've not even used because we just don't.
We rambled.
We've rambled, all right. We finessed the hell out of this ramble. But in all seriousness, guys, yeah, my argument was that, well, there's got to be something dodgy he did recently. But then I suppose there is that argument. But like, why would it crop up at this time, so long after? I don't get it. Like about if it's the original ones, whatever. Either way, chat has devolved into just BB. BB, Scott. BB is above. He's more. Oh my! I can't keep up. BB defied Scott, is above Scott, more than Scott, birthed Scott, and is also Epic Games. Guys, I think it's time we ended the stream.
Yeah.
You know, like that was just supposed to be the intro, and it's taken us a whole hour, and my headphones are on here. But like, we don't need to keep going. We've hit a time with a bloody good ramble. It's covered a lot of the important stuff in FNaF. We can come back and do more of this in future because there's so much this bloody franchise. And, people are worshipping BB now, so weirdest canon compliant theory you can think of? Unless someone's suggesting better right now, Elite Robos want it because of the mask argument. Because it technically makes sense that the item is absent here, and it could be this here, but it's just not true.
Yeah.
We just know that it isn't true.
But still, it's funny, and it does, you know, because I do remember actually people have argued it up and down, like comparing nose size and everything of the freaking mask. Be like, oh, it's Freddy's mask. No, it's Bonnie's mask. You know?
I'm one of those guys who never did, like, detailed comparisons because I'm more historical than scientific, but those are important, you know. Count the animatronic toes, guys. Anyway, there's still music playing. Which tune is this? No Time for Popcorn. What hasn't played? We're just gonna
put it on shuffle. I don't think we can really.
I'm just gonna play the title screen because I didn't hear this, and this is good music. This is good. So, thank you all so much for watching. Do you want to do the outro?
Nah.
Thank you all so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure to do this stream. This is what I've been aiming to do from the start, and it's only now I've been able to actually plan it and get around to it. And like, there was an opportunity, and I took it. Look at that. She's here in person. I can touch her. What is this witchcraft? But anyways, that really is it, guys. So thank you all so much. If you did enjoy, do leave a like. It is much appreciated. You know, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of all new streams coming to you. Premieres as well. There was a bit of an issue with Bendy today, and Lucie and I would have been there in chat if it hadn't, you know, technical issues. It wasn't uploading, so it had to be delayed. But I'm planning to release one every Tuesday, if that's alright with you, because we got to record them and keep up. But
yeah,
should be an issue. We've done like 4 already.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun because it's not just me playing Bendy. I'm getting someone who hasn't seen it before and someone I want to show. I'm killing 2 birds with one stone.
Dude, you just poured on your bed. You spilled.
Well, as I was saying, links in the description. I'll update everything in the end of the stream. But yeah, check out Lee. He's a mad talented guy. Like Fred guy, he's working a lot, and I'm going to have to do some more streams on this stuff. And please, check out Lucie. She's the most talented, incredible art. I mean, like, it's kind of surreal because obviously her being in person, obviously she posts all this amazing art on Instagram, but I actually got to see it and feel it in person in her notebook because she brought it with her.
Yeah.
But you guys can get like, you know, part of that experience. She's got 420 posts, guys. Come on. Like 420 posts. That is an invitation right there. Okay, so she might be on a mental health hiatus, but I mean, you know, how long is it going to take to go through all of this? Look at it. So much talent. She's done. This is a great portfolio. Like, there's loads of good stuff, and you'll probably know some of these franchises as well. Detroit Become Human, Spider-Man, crossovers, FNaF, freaking there's Transformers back there, Sally Face,
Steven Universe,
Portal,
like 2 or 3. Portal a lot, yeah.
Heckin', Demon Crybaby Man.
Yeah, Devilman Crybaby, goddammit.
That was a strange one. I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah, but, no. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but I watched it. It had some really interesting messages and morals, but like...
Anyways, I'm actually going to chat back on my phone just so I can read anything before the end of chat. Any final messages, guys? Anything you want to add? Oh, I have to get my internet connection. Okay, you know what? Just Alt-Tab. Just get up in it. It's just going to be easier. There it is. Are you okay?
Yeah, I thought...
Bye, Mr. BB. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, she's here in person. You just realised, Rick, we're not in a voice call. This is all the way from Germany. Look at this shit. She's a real person. I didn't think she was a real person, guys. I thought she was just, like, figment of our collective imagination or something. Couldn't be certain.
In all honesty, like, when I first, like, actually saw him in person, like, coming around the corner, I was like...
I saw you in the distance, and I was like, alright, there she is, right, messaged you. Hi. Look up, look up, look up, look up. It was great. Surreal. I'll be sure to check out this Lucie person. We still haven't found Lucie, have we, Lucie? Do you see her anywhere? Oh, man. Detroit Become Human. Good for you, man. Get to meet your significant other. Like, it seems like something you take for granted, but in this age where you can meet people from across the world online, like, it's crazy. Like, we've been able to form a relationship that's completely normal in all aspects, except we've never actually physically met each other in person until now. It's just mind-blowing, alright? But, we're done. Now time to get... Oh. What would you know about that, Rick? Does Freya have anything to say about this? I
like the Fred guys. Oh,
bruh, yeah. Guys, man, I am such an alpha male, right? You wouldn't believe the things we've been doing. We've been holding hands, I know. So NSFW, like, you wouldn't believe it. I daren't do it on stream, but I gotta get that hydration. We're just chatting now. This is great. This is what it's all about. But I have to go. I'm tired. Must sleep. James, I'm so sorry you've come to the end of the stream. Peter's like, Rick, no! You mentally violate me more times than I can count. Rick, it was holding hands before wedlock. Rick, you touched me. Me, Rick, and Peter have this strange love triangle, which Lucie really shouldn't know about. But I've got issues. Oh no, blasphemous. Okay, we're leaving. We're leaving. Do you have anything to say before we go? You want to just...
I'm good. I don't have anything to say, really.
There's no comment to a stream like this one. This was wild, this was crazy, this was emotional, this was... Fear BB.
Gone sexual, gone wrong, not clickbait, fake spider mentioning.
Yes! Oh my gosh. Alright, but for real, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like, this and the last Debate Direct, two of the best streams I've ever done. Stay hydrated.